Okay, thank you very much for your speaking. I will be back um, soon to you and your interesting experience in the African continent. Now it's the time of Francesca Oliva, which has 15 years experience in working in sub-Saharan African countries. She has been involved over time in sustainable energy access and energy efficiency programs for which she holds the position of technical advisor in AVSI Foundation. Lot of lot of experience, for example, in Uganda, in a business incubation center in Uganda. She has developed business coaching skills, and she has participated in delivering business development services to African business countries. Um, Mrs. Oliva, we have heard from Mr. Bigotti presentation about the importance of capacity building to achieve access to energy. What role AVSI has in delivering capacity building in the sector? Can you share your experience with us? You have the floor.
Yeah, first of all, maybe just two words about AVSI. We are an international NGO. We are Italian, born in 1972, and we are active in 30 countries in the world. And our main focus is actually Sub-Saharan Africa. And we see access to energy as an instrumental right that is needed to achieve other rights, like access to education, to health services, but also for achieving economic development. Without access to energy, it's impossible to run a small business, to do value addition on agricultural products, and so on and so forth. So that's why for us it's so important to promote access to energy, and especially in rural areas. And we work a lot with Rest for Africa, with companies, with governments, and so on, to bring electricity in the rural areas. So why is our role important, and why are we in this panel? It's because the only fact that the energy is available does not mean in itself that there is an impact, that there is economic development, that there is any kind of development. And why is that? It's because when you bring electricity in villages, people don't often have the money either to pay the connection to electricity, but sometimes they don't have the money to buy a refrigerator, to store their food and therefore improve their nutrition. They don't have money to buy maybe appliances for doing value addition, and so on and so forth. And there's also not access to finance for them to get the funds to buy those appliances and start a business. And sometimes they also don't have business skills. And even the developers that come and put their mini grids, as Lorenzo said, sometimes there's lack of capacity for running these mini grids. There's people that don't have technical expertise or cannot do maintenance. So there's a lot of skills that are actually missing. And it's most often not the business of the companies that come and put their plans to provide these skills. It's their business is another one, is provide technologies and run this technology. So that is where our role becomes important, because we work directly with the communities and with the people within the communities to provide them these skills. It can be business skills, for instance, to run their businesses. It can be also capacity building for financial institutions, to create and to provide financial services for acquiring energy products. So we also train them and we show them there is a business case for giving energy loans, and that is where they start giving the loans. And we also work together with the institutions like the schools and the hospitals to support them to access the energy that is provided. One example that we have with this, it's actually, there's many, because we work in a number of countries, especially in East Africa and South Africa, like Mozambique, Uganda, Rwanda, Kenya, Congo, Burundi. Where we have projects in collaboration with companies that bring access to energy. In Uganda, we're working in 15 villages with a developer which is called the Winch Energy. We receive funds from the German cooperation, and what we're doing is basically from the company perspective, we are basically creating a market for their electricity. From our perspective, we are creating development in the community by giving all this capacity building inputs to the community. So what happens at the end of our program is that we will have trained 150 business people to start businesses that have an impact in the community and provide valuable services, and that businesses will consume enough electricity to basically satisfy the demand for the developer and its investors to recover their investment. So as you see, this collaboration is key, and this capacity building is very key to have the all access to electricity actually happen and have its impact. Another thing that I want to mention is the partnership with the Microgrid Academy, which was mentioned by Mr. Rigotti, but also by Mr. Canatelli, since they are also partners of RES for Africa. We have founded the Microgrid Academy together with RES for Africa, with St. Kitts Dito, and with Strathmore University. And thanks to this partnership, we are training people along the entire value chain of energy access. Thanks to this experience, we can basically train people from the design of the mini grid to the last user of the electricity to be active in the value chain. And not only really in terms of technology or maintenance and so on, but also in terms of management. And these skills have been used and the training have been deployed in different countries within AVSI programs, especially in Congo and in Mozambique, where we've also trained maybe a category that was not mentioned. We have trained together also people from the institutions within the countries where we work, from the ministries of energy, from the local authorities that deal with electricity, from the public officials that have to deal with the communities that deal with electricity. So it's at all levels we are creating that capacity which is needed to really exploit the effects of access to energy.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Oliva. Another question for you, just don't lose the point. Before of your intervention, Mr. Biscotti, and I resume the intervention of Mr. Biscotti as rural people cares or local matter. Which is what is your personal experience, the role of partnership in your experience? We have here different stakeholders at this table, all involved in achieving access to energy and rural electrification. So, what is, in your opinion, the role of partnership?
Well, especially because you're seeing there's so many stakeholders at this table, I think it's a self-answering question. We need all these people, like from companies, from institutions, from universities and so on, to be together to achieve access to energy. And it's because it's a very multifaceted topic. We need institutions to set the rules. We need that, like authorities, the national authorities, but we also need donors, institutions to provide maybe the finance, sometimes in terms of grants, of subsidies. And we need, and sometimes it's not so obvious, also civil society, for the reasons that I've just mentioned, to be involved to promote productive use of energy. So I think in this sector, partnerships are maybe more important than in any other sector, and we are used to partner with many different organizations in many different fields we work at. But really, I believe that to achieve a sustainable development goal 7, it's very key that these actors really work together on national plans to really deploy the new technologies that are available, because without a coordinated effort, it will be really difficult to achieve the goals that we have set in our agendas.